Now we need to talk about calling APIs in React. So till now what we discussed? We discussed about Ajax, and of course before Ajax already we discussed about asynchronous, and after that we discussed about callback function, callback hell, discussed about callback hell. That's great. And later what we discussed? Yes, promises. Okay, and in that discussed about promise chain, how promise chain is framing. If a promise settled, you're getting success or error object, and from that again, if that returns a promise again it is in the pending state, and again it will be solved by then our catch methods. Using them you will capture the success or error objects. In that way that chain goes. So using that, what we discussed? Fetch method. Okay, so using fetch method we called API, right? Or we can use ReactJS library. Okay, yeah, today we'll talk about, we'll discuss with the fetch method itself because you are new to it. In the next class we'll go with the ReactJS. We will install a third-party library and we will use the ReactJS instead of fetch method. Okay, so then jump into API again. So we have seen one URL, right? We have taken a URL, but you don't know how it frames, etc., etc. We don't know. So in depth of it, I given this information many times. Again, I'm telling you, your UI, and this one is my database, and this is my APIs portion or web services. You can call it API or you can call it web services. Okay, you have RESTful APIs, SOAP APIs. We have many. If you're talking about REST, we'll get the data in the form of JSON. Okay, so just now what we seen, when you click on the button, you have seen the data in the console, right, in the form of objects, JSON objects. Yeah, so now we are talking about this area, database to API. Yes, and this is your database, that is DB, and we have many DBs, right? SQL, Oracle, MySQL, Postman, MongoDB, etc., etc. So this portion, I will take one more. Yeah, this portion, this complete portion developed by whom? Backend developer or servers. You can call him server side developer, backend or server side. Give me some examples of server side. Java, .NET, PHP, Python, Go, Node.js, Deno.js. We have many, no? So using any one of them, you can create web APIs. Then, being a front-end developer, our job is to access these APIs. Okay, so my job is to communicate from our UI. You already created UI. You know, right, how to, for example, if I give you array of objects, maybe products, you will show them using map. Like, you can show the products, you can write search functionality, you can maybe sort them using category. So you can write your own logics using array methods. But now, in the last examples, maybe when you're working with the props, you will get the data in the form of array. That array that is under control of you. You are written manually, but now the data comes from APIs. So now you are making your UI dynamic. Earlier it's static, so it's showing the data, of course, but if you modify anything, if you reload it, it will remove. But if you pass the data from this UI, this data is passing to database through the web service. Of course, I told you many times, from this UI, from this front end, you can't communicate with the database. This is very, very, very important. We discussed it many times. Okay, so try to understand the architecture. You are trying to communicating from UI to database through the APIs. APIs are created by server-side person. Being a front-end developer, you are accessing with the APIs. You are from the UI, you are trying to access the APIs, and you are making your application dynamic. Clear? Yeah. So now we need to conclude one more point. One more. The very, very important. See, you created your UI being a front-end developer, and maybe back-end developer, he created APIs. So in your company, there are two teams, back-end team, front-end team. Back-end people created APIs, front-end team accessing APIs. They're creating UI, they create a design, and they're accessing the APIs, they're making it dynamic. So if you know both, you're a full stack developer. Okay, you're a full stack developer, of course. And now you're creating UI, right? You're creating UI, and you can access APIs also, but we don't have APIs in hand. We need a server-side person to create APIs. So we need to hire someone. He will, maybe Python people, maybe Java developer, maybe any developer. He will create the APIs for you. You just access them. But we are in the learning stage, so you can't afford to hire someone. So what we are doing, we are installing a library, a package, a software, which helps you to create a RESTful APIs. Full APIs. For example, if you hire a Java developer, maybe if you hire a Python developer, how he will give you same way that software giving you all the APIs what you require. So first of all, install that library name called JsonServer. Okay, so guys, it's not useful in the real time. This is for learning purpose. Okay, so because I will tell you, insert the data and retrieve the data, edit, delete. I'm giving you the CRUD operations. Without API, what you will do? You will take array and you will perform it. But I just want that real time feel. If you jump into the company people will give you real time APIs. So if you jump into the company, if you want to work with the real time APIs, if you don't have that knowledge, you can't work, right? So this helps you to work with the real time APIs. Okay, one software. And I'm talking the second software. We have one more software. It is not test one. It is real time one. Okay, again, without coding, it's giving you full APIs. That is Firebase. It is a Google product. It's giving you full APIs without coding. You can't. You don't need to hire server-side person.
Okay.
It's giving you full APIs, and that all are real time. You will take Firebase APIs and integrate them into your UI. Okay. Even you can send your application live. It works. Okay. So we have JsonServer and we have Firebase, and maybe the rest of the things. And you have to hire server-side person, and you need to develop a real-time application. So at this time, we have to talk JsonServer first. Then we'll jump into Firebase also. We'll see Firebase also. Yeah. So fine. Now you understood how to create APIs. Maybe using JsonServer or Firebase, you will create APIs. You created APIs, and using front end, you are accessing it, and you are developed real-time application. But before accessing APIs, when they are creating it, they have to test APIs. Okay, so maybe you have your design, server-side developer developing APIs. When he is developing, maybe after developed, when you are using it, you have to test your APIs. For that, we need to install a library name called Postman. We have many, but Postman is the best one. Okay, so we'll see Postman today. We'll see Postman today, as well as we will see JsonServer. Using these two, and using this we'll test, and using this we will integrate APIs in our application. Okay, have any questions? No questions, right? Yeah. First of all, go to JsonServer, and come to your React application, integrate it, and after integration, after seeing the output, after you satisfied, then we'll jump into Postman and we'll test all the cases. So before going to the Postman, before going to integrate into our application, we need to discuss some other points. Yeah. First of all, we have a website, maybe xyz.com. Okay, and I asked my server-side person to give me products. He given me URL, get product or else products. He given me this URL, right? We can call this URL as resource. Okay, this is simple URL, not like this. Just look like this. Yeah, this is your resource. We have a URL, it has a resource, and this resource having a method. Maybe you can call it get method. We already discussed in the Ajax level. We discussed about get and post, right? So usually get used to get the data from the API. So post used to give the data for create, to insert, and we already mentioned put or patch for edit, and delete for the delete. These four methods are very important. Okay, the next one, post, and the next one, put or patch, and next delete. Absolutely. and we have many methods. These 4 methods are very important. In interview, people definitely will ask you, do you know any HTTP methods? These are the HTTP methods. HTTP methods. Okay, so this resource with this method. Okay, so generally when you are getting this with get method, this is my get API. It is my get products API. Of course, you have for example, in some technology, people use some secret key. What is the use of that secret key? Because they will generate a key. You can call it salt. We have many. It have many names. So what is the use of that key? Secret key. So I shown some Neil Patel website. It's giving you to search keywords every day. Three keywords you can search, right? Yeah. So for example, he's not generating that key. You can use his API in your application. So that secret key you have to pass from client side to server side. Then only server side understand, okay, he's the authorized person. Okay, that is different topic. Just try to understand this my get API and post with this is for insert. This is for insert or create. You can call it create also. Mostly this is with it shows with 200. You know what is this 200? Yeah, success code, right? HTTP success code. This is 201. Go and verify once. Okay. Anyway, again. So for edit and delete, you need to pass extra ID, name, or any recognized value. It have to recognize that particular values. So maybe maximum 99% will pass ID. Maybe 1 or 2 something. So you will pass your ID here. / you will pass your ID. Okay, and this is for edit purpose. Edit API. And finally, this is my delete method. So for delete also, you have to pass your ID. And I need to add some other things. Don't worry, I will tell you. It is my delete API. Okay. So when you are getting, you just pass your resource with the get method. That's enough. But when you are inserting the data, you need to pass your data, right? So here you are adding data also. This data comes from form.
Data.
You're inserting the data, no? There is no. We're not talking about database. We're talking about. You're inserting the data into database, of course, but that's a different topic. But you're passing the. Here we're trying to talk at client level. Client means browser level, not user. Don't add user in the technology. I'm mentioning from the day one. Don't mention user as client here. Always when you're talking about web technologies. When I use client, you have to talk about browser. So we're passing the data from the browser. So when you're getting the data from server to browser, you're not passing anything. You're giving a request. That request is URL, this resource, along with the method, and you're getting something data from the server to the client. So here you are passing a URL with the post method, and you have to pass the data object. This data object will insert into database. It is passing from the client. From the client, you're collecting the data from the user. You're collecting the data from the user through the form. And maybe here you need updated object. You need updated object because from the form you are updating his result. When you click on update button, you can click on update button, then you are passing the data. You're passing the data from form to again API to the API. So that with the put or patch method. So once server-side technology taken using this URL, using this method, and you have updated object, then it will insert into or it updated that record in the database. Okay, we don't know, being a client-side developer, we can't talk about the database because we are very strict about this. We don't know what happening in the database. We always talk about, I am passing this to the API. I am taking this from the API. Okay, simple. There are two humans. Again, I am taking a real world example. This is a person and there is another person. Maybe he is a client. He have a project. There is a client and there is a developer. Okay, developer, and he is giving request. He have a requirement. No, he's giving a request to create a project. Request, and this person given response. What his response? maybe he is asked to create login page. He created that login page. He never give that login logic. How he is developed. I am writing HTML code. I am writing Java. He is not giving that information. What is dealing with that? He given login page. That's it. So what he is doing, client don't know, because client don't have that awareness. Same way, what this API is doing, we no need to understand that. We need to understand what is my URL, what is my API, what is my resource, and using which method and which data I have to pass. This complete information given by whom? This information, this document. This is a document actually. This document given by whom? Server-side person. Because he created it. When he is creating, he knows that URLs, he knows that methods, and he knows the response objects. Clear? This document given by whom? Server-side developer. He will give you that document maybe in the form of, generally, just now I told you about the Postman, right? So people will communicate through the Postman. They will log in through that and they give URL through the Postman, and you can test the APIs and you can take from there. Or else they will give you wonderful documentation, PDF or Excel sheet. In that they will give you wonderful APIs along with the documentation. So this is your resource, and using this method, if you hit the API, you will get this response. In that response, what kind of data will come? Object, and in array of objects, in that you have name, ID, etc. They will give you. If you get the data, you can use them. For example, when you're inserting, you have to use post method, this resource, and object, you have to pass this object. In that object ID, it will be the integer, or else don't send the ID. ID automatically incremented, so don't pass the ID. Second one, what? Name, and something data he will provide you, maybe product title, product price, offer price, etc. You need to pass all the properties. You have to send that object to the request. So you will send that and you will wait for what? You're given a request and you have to wait for the response. You never think what he's doing. You given a request and you will wait for the response. So if you understand this is enough. Generally in real time, developers doing this. Okay, yeah, please note down, take the screenshot. Yeah.
Google Forms ఉంటాయి కదా, Google Forms మనం క్రియేట్ చేసి పంపిస్తే మనం అక్కడ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చేసి మళ్ళీ మనకు పంపిస్తే మనం ఎక్సెల్ షీట్లో డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలి.
See, for example, we'll discuss this one. There is Google Form, no? Yeah. You enter the data in no, maybe customer he entered the data in the Google Form. When he hit the submit button, what happening?
Update
Not updating. You're taking the data. You're collecting the data. It is insert. And if you see that complete data in the web page, for example, what you're doing? Retrieving that inserted data. Okay, for example, if you click on download button in the form of Excel, okay, this is called file handling. This is not hitting the API, it's file handling. You're handling Excel sheet. Okay, so when you click on the download button, server side technology works for that and it will give you Excel sheet. Directly Excel will download here. It's called file handling. So if there are so many things you need to understand being a beginner. Try to understand these 4 operations at this moment, and thousands of times you have to practice this, thousands of times, to get the idea, to get the clarity. And definitely in the next session we will take many examples. We'll take e-commerce application, how this CRUD operation is helping you to develop e-commerce application. These 4 operations will help you to develop e-commerce application. What is e-commerce application? Like example, Flipkart, Amazon, right? Those are the shopping cart kind of application, shopping kind of. So e-commerce application, maybe social media kind of application, social media like what? Facebook, Instagram, this kind of applications, right? So the same CRUD operations, if you know that CRUD operations, you can develop social media applications. Only 4 applications, only 4 methods, 4 operations will help you to develop any application. But you need to understand. For example, in social media, you're posting a post. Okay, maybe I am just placing my status. There is a text box. I'm entering my information, my status. When you click on post, then what happening? 2 operations happening. One is insert. Second one, it's showing in the post, right? In the status.
Yes.
Retrieve means this one. Retrieve, get. You can call it retrieve. Get or retrieve. Okay. These 4 operations called CRUD operations. Create, insert, retrieve, or get, or else read. No problem at all. update, edit, and the last one,
delete.
sorry, this one delete. Yeah, delete. These 4 operations. Okay, social media, maybe e-commerce. In e-commerce, you're adding products. You're retrieving the products. You're showing the products for the customer. So customer, is showing you can see your products, right? Retrieve. For example, when I added, I given something wrong. For example, it's a 1 lakh product. By mistake, I forgotten that 0. So now it is 10,000 product. You posted. It's shown to the customer. He bought it. So suddenly he has seen 1 lakh product. He paid only 10,000. So he's going to update it. So he will go and he will edit it because we need to give edit option to the merchant. And finally, for example, there is no product available in the market. He want to delete it. He will delete it. Okay. For example, in social media, I registered, insert. Okay. I want to see my profile. Retrieve. I want to update my profile. Edit. I can delete my profile.
Delete.
For example, login. Sir, login. You given your data in the text boxes. Sir, is it insert? No, it's not insert. It's not insert. You passed your data using, of course, post method, but we are not inserting the data. You passed your data using post. Server-side technology, like that API, it will check, it will validate the user, and it will return you success object or maybe login fail object. Login fail also, login success also, in your point of view, success object only. In the form of, when we are talking about promise aspect, maybe login fail, login success, that is different point, but you got success object. If it is login, you will send him to the dashboard. If his login fail, you will show invalid credentials. That message also given by the API. Okay, so at this moment you can't understand everything, but when you're doing it, you will definitely understand. That's why I'm telling you, you need to practice hundreds of different examples, thousands of different examples. Definitely we'll discuss. Definitely we'll go with it. Okay. So now you know about CRUD operations, what it is doing, and when I'm going to the get, you know the URL, under the post, you know the URL and ID and delete. Okay. So these all are given by the server-side person through a document, whatever the document. You'll get a document. Using that, you always think to give the request and to wait for the response, but don't think about what server side is doing, because you are not a full stack developer. If you're a full stack developer, then you have to send the request and you need to work at the server side also. Okay, yeah. Yeah, please go ahead. So till now, see guys, try to understand when you are working on HTML and CSS. So I will talk about the form. What do you have to tell? Form, simple form. It's a form is a concept to collect the information from the user. If I ask you after collect, what it have to do? So being a HTML CSS guy, you have to tell, I don't know. I'm a designer. I created it. I created that form. That form is collecting. That's it. I don't know what it is happening. Now, being a React developer, being a React or Angular or any client-side developer, you have to tell. From the form, I will take the data. I will send that to the API. Okay, I will collect the data from the form. Being a designer, I created it, and I'm taking the data from the form, and I'm sending the data to the API. So what happening after the passing to the API? I don't know. Okay. Next, backend person. Maybe if he's a backend person, he don't know what happening in the front end. He will tell you, like, for example, if you ask him what form is doing, etc., etc. No, I don't know. I will create an API. Someone will send the data to that API. My job is to collect that information and pass that to the database. Okay, and he knows that, and he knows how to design form and how to collect the data from the form and how to pass that to the API. You don't know that. And maybe in your company there is database architect. He know about schema. He know how to frame all the tables, etc., etc. That is the job of database architect. That's very big topic. And in your company, if there is a test engineer, he don't know how to develop form, what is happening with the client side, and what is happening in the server side, and what is happening in the database. He don't know all of that stuff. His job is test whether the login functionality works or not, whether that form is taking the data or not, and if it is fail, what the error result is showing, what is the error message showing. If it is success, what is the success message showing, whether it is redirecting or not. So be at your position. Be at your position. You are a client-side developer. You need to think at this position and think effectively in this area. When you become full stack, you just think about everything. Okay, yeah. Now I will go to the JSON. So even this JSON placeholder, you can see if you go to the YouTube or if you go to any tutorials, maximum people will train you things through this JSON placeholder because there are so many test APIs. Using these test APIs, people will tell you, it's showing you resource. They're not calling API because it's a resource. Anyway, now you have many resources now. So every resource having 4 methods: get, post, put, patch, delete. Put, delete. But 4 operations you can perform on each resource. Yeah. So this is developed by this is very famous one. This is developed by whom?
JsonServer.
Yeah. JsonServer. So we're directly installing this JsonServer in your computer, and we can integrate that in the React. So how to install this? I'm following simple steps. And before in this, just read at least 1 or 2 points about this. Yeah. So read at least 1 line. Get full fake REST API with 0 coding, because you are not server-side person to create APIs in less than 30 seconds. Of course, it's very, very serious. Seriously, within 30 seconds, you can create full fake REST APIs. Okay? Yeah, come down to my first step. Step 1, npm install JsonServer. This is a command. Open your command prompt. Yeah, npm install -g. G stands for globally to the all the users. You're installing this JSON server to all the users. Enter. In the next class, after completion of CRUD operations in this JSON server, we'll jump into Firebase, and we have to talk about CRUD operations in the Firebase also. Yeah. So that JSON server installed in my computer. Then my second step, create db.json. Create db.json. Go to desktop or somewhere, anyway, create a folder with the name of or maybe I'm creating a folder server. Okay, and inside open in the VS Code and create what? db.json. You can create any name, no problem, maybe x.json, no problem at all. Okay, later they're telling you to copy this. Later when we are talking about e-commerce, I have posts and I have categories, products, categories, etc. So this is for just they're giving me generally. I'm taking that and I'm placing my data into db.json. Okay, now I will start this. I can open command prompt, go and check it the command. What is that command? JsonServer. I'm directly using JsonServer because I'll already installed in my computer, right?
Yes.
It's already installed. So I'm directly using JsonServer. I'm using npm. How am I using npm? Because yes, when you install Node.js, Node by default install npm and npx, so that you're using npm. Same way, now you're installed JsonServer, so you can use JsonServer directly. So JsonServer -- watch db.json. Copy this and place here, and no problem. JSON -server -watch db.json. That's great. Now your resources are ready with the methods. So what are the resources I have? So posts, comments, and profiles. Just now I shown you. So don't think about the db.json. That's my point. You need to understand the resource. And you have to play with the resources.
Yes.
But don't think about the db.json. Don't go and edit. Initially you have to set up that. Later you have to play with the resources. Because in the real time we will play with these resources. We will never touch our DB. Okay, this is a fake full REST APIs. Okay, yeah. Come now. I just want to test first resource. Okay, already in my computer I installed Postman. This one. Okay, there is download option. You can install this Postman. Okay, but we have many things available in the internet. Postman versus Swagger, Insomnia, Soap UI, and we have many. So REST Azure, Thunder Client. So we have many, not only one. So that's why in company definitely people will in the interview people will ask you which software you are used to test your APIs. You will tell Postman. For example, he will ask you, do you have any other software kind of knowledge? Because we are using Swagger in my company. No problem. I will. It's a simple software, right? I will try to understand it and I will use it. No problem, because already I used Postman. Okay. After installation, go and search Postman. So initially it will not open like this. Initially it will not open like this. What happens generally? It's asked you to register. There is a skip option. You can skip it. Otherwise, you can log in. No problem. Create your account and you can log in. If you log into this, it will maintain your all APIs, you can create collections, etc., etc. We have many things here. Okay, so remember, it's not doing anything, it's just testing your APIs. Okay, so maybe I created my APIs. I created an API using Node.js. Okay, I just show you. So this for authentication aspect. Okay, just my server started and come here. I'm just clicking on send. So what it's showing me, when you click on send, it treat like my application. It's showing me user already exists because last time already given these details. Okay, so you remember this, right? Email ID and password. Now come to login body, and I given that username and password. Click on send. Yeah, given wrong. Yeah, it's 1 2 3, right? I given 4. Click on send. Login success, and it's given me complete Raju data. For this I used Node.js, and backend I used MongoDB, and I used for create these URLs I used Express.js, complete Mariner. So I integrated them in the React application for authentication, login success, and kind of thing. Maybe here you can give, maybe for example, I'm giving a something, and I'm giving again gmail.com, and password maybe 321, whatever. Click on send. See, it's successful, and click on send again. User already exists. So my API working correct, right? Using post method, and this is a URL, this is a resource, and there is my method, and this is a data I have to pass in the form of JSON. Okay, so now come to login. There is my login, and copy this email ID. And password I given 321, right? Yes, click on send. So this is my, just now I created this user. And maybe I will do one thing. I will change this email ID. So click on send. Email not exist. Okay, and give password wrong. So just think. A user is communicating with another user. Same way, right? You're passing correct details. It given some response. You given some wrong details. You given something different response. For different case, it giving different response. And I don't know what the server side written for this. Being a client-side developer, I don't know. I'm just testing them like this. After testing them, I will integrate these APIs into my React application. That's it. That's my job. Clear? Anyway, just now we already have a resource. This one, my backend. Yeah. Copy these resources. The first one. Come here. Open a new tab. And place here using get, click on send. It's given me all the posts. So my first one, where is my paint? Yeah, the first one completed, this one completed. My second one, what you have to do? So first we'll copy this resource. Second, choose post. Third, you need an object, right? So go to body, click on raw, and this is JSON. Okay, and simply I'm copying this object and come here and place here. Okay, and I'm not giving ID because JsonServer automatically increase your ID, auto incremented. So I'm giving title as React classes and author Shravan, for example. Okay, click on send. So it given me this response: ID2, author name Shravan, and title React classes. Come to your get API, click on send. Okay, so now we done this one, we tested this one, and third one, putter patch. So you need to check putter patch. So this one, click on this. Okay, so what is this method? Put and URL resource, copy this, we need ID. We already discussed no.
Yes, we need ID.
So don't miss single point. What I am telling you, each and every point valid. If you lose single point, so it won't work. Because that's why I'm taking this, telling you in the step-by-step manner. Yeah. Next, you choose and put, and this is my resource body, and of course raw and JSON. Okay, don't worry, we'll take a screenshot. Don't worry. So very simple. If you choose post or put, go to body, then raw, then JSON. That's it. Okay, and place your object here. Which object you are updating? Which record? The first one, this one. What is the title of this? JsonServer. And other? Type you code something. And change this to Angular. Maybe author name, Omkar. Click on send. So something happened. Again, you got the response.
Yes.
For this request, you got this response. And see, I already told you this one 201 created. This is 200 only, and this also 200. That's why I explained you. So no problem. Click on send. Update it, and of course delete one. Nothing like just choose delete one. No, not this one. And copy this URL. You need to pass ID through the URL and click on send. You got empty object as a result, and click on this get. Clear?
Yes.
So now I want to integrate this post in the React. So before going to the React, I just want to insert 2-3 records. Angular, Omkar, click on send, and maybe you want digital marketing, right? Okay. Who is the trainer? Rajesh. You're all Rajesh sir fans. Huh? Rajesh sir. Omkar and Shravan. Just Omkar and Shravan. Rajesh sir. Okay. So, okay. I created one more. And Python classes. No, this also give to someone. I don't need this. Aravind sir. Okay, I inserted so many records. Okay, click on send. Okay, we have many records. So now I want to show this data in the React. So
delete చేస్తే అది పూర్తిగా delete అయిపోతుంది. ID changes కాదు కదా.
yeah, it's a wonderful question. We need to take explanation for this. See, for example, you know, when I joined my BTech, they given me a rule number. My rule number 453, for example. 476 rule number person detained from the class. He detained. It's not continued. I think I have seen him 10 times. I think he's not continued his study. He's discontinued from the education, from the BTech. So, what is the rule number? 476. Now you go to the JNTU and ask him, give that rule number. Definitely they will tell you he detained in the BTech first year. You understand the point, right?
Yes.
Yes. So generally delete means here we are deleting the record, but generally people will disable him. For example, in Facebook, if you deleted your profile, what will happen? You know it. What will happen?
Delete.
No, it will ask you. It will tells you we have 30 days of margin time. Then they won't directly delete your record. Okay, they will give you 30 days of time. If you try to log in, what will tell you? You are trying to delete your record. Do you want to revoke? Do you want to revoke? It will ask you. If you said okay, it will come back to profile. I mean, it comes to active portion again. Delete not that much easy in the real-time applications. Generally, we will disable it. We'll not going to delete. For example, you done a big crime that is attached with that profile. You understand? Okay, I chatted with someone. You done some chatting, and something you involved in a crime, and you want to escape from that crime. You deleted your record. Sorry. No, actually, it's asking you 30 days of time. After 30 days, it's going to delete, right? But they won't delete your record. They won't delete your profile. They will disable your profile. If people wants, they can retrieve the data from your profile. So it's a very big thing. You can't escape from crime. so guys, just I need to tell you this. What we're talking, we're going to the React, and go to the React. Startpage.com. Front end, React with JavaScript. Yeah. So I just want to show my data in the form of table, for example. First of all, create a table. Table, and inside table row, and inside table heading. Sorry. And of course you have to use table head, table body, etc. You need to write meaningful code, because of my interest is to show you code, calling API. That's my interest, so that I'm moving serial number, and of course name, and of course the next one. No, so it's other. No problem. It's not at all matter. We can manage it. And the last one, title. And come here, open interpolation. We need to write some logic, right? Yeah, we have to iterate that and copy this tr, and yeah, we need some td, maybe one and other, right? Yeah, I'm just taking Shravan as well as I'm taking React classes. Okay, so I'm showing my record. For example, if you iterate or repeat this record, you will get many records, right? Yeah. Now I need to use two hooks now. One is use state, second one use effect. Absolutely. What is the use of use effect now? You don't know? Don't know? You know all of this. I'm directly writing it. And initially it is I'm taking null. Why I'm taking null here? Because I want to capture my initial state. Sir, we want to take square bracket. Okay, you can bracket. You can take bracket. So what is the difference between bracket and null here? For example, you call that API. It's given you. It don't have any data. It's given you square bracket. It means there is no post. You have that state, right? You have that state. You understand my point? You called API. API don't have posts. Now it is empty, right? So now if it is empty, what you have to show? No products, no posts available. There is no post. You need to show that message. But you're not called API. You're trying to show there is no post. So that's why you need initial position, initial state. For that you are taking null and try to write conditional rendering. You know it, right? What is this? Data equal to null. I am trying to return in the paragraph maybe. What I'm showing? Loading. So after call API, if it is empty, I will write one more condition. If that data length equal to 0, then I will show no products available or no posts available. Okay, so I will write that. Data dot, because it's now it's an array, right? Length 0. Then what you're trying to show? No
post in the API.
No post. You don't talk about the API with the customer. I know Vignesh is a wonderful developer. I know it. I know he knows about API. But technically, customer don't know about API. Okay, Vignesh, even you don't know API about before React. Even you don't know about API, right? So if you show API, he will confuse. What is API? He will go to the Google and he will search about API. Yeah, no posts available, or no posts available. No posts available. Whatever, no posts. Just show no posts. No posts to show. Whatever, you just write your message. Okay. So now you have your UI with you, and maybe here this part I will iterate when you get the data from the API. Data dot map, and inside you're writing return and you're placing your tr here. Table row, I'm trying to iterate, and you will get the data, that data name post, and you can write. So if you're interested to show ID, just write post dot ID and post dot author and post dot ID. So if you don't know this property names properly, then go here, copy this title, and you just give here. So you don't give spelling mistakes, so you'll never get the data properly, right? So yeah, I copied everything. Now my job, so my job is now when the page loaded, I want to get the data. When page loaded, I want to get the data. So I need a method. Which have to execute one time after the page loaded. Which method is suitable for this? Use effect. Yeah, tell me the syntax. Use effect inside function. Can I call it callback function?
Yes.
Why? Your past this is an argument. Second one, it is obeying that rule that callback function is executed by the use effect. So now it is a callback function definitely, and you can give bracket the dependency list you given that is empty. Why I give an empty? Because it have to act like component did mount. It have to act like component did mount, and it have to execute in the mounting phase. It have to execute only one time after the page reload. Definitely I will tell you why I am calling it one time. Okay, for example, if you change anything, if use effect will execute again, you will call that API. You will if you're not given this, then what will happen? If you update the data inside this, data updated, state updated. Once the state updated, render will execute, means return will execute. Once return executed, you are not given square bracket. It acts like component did update again. It will execute again. Once it is executed, you are updating the data again. You are calling API and you are updating the data. State updated again. Return will execute again. After the return, use effect will execute again. So it becomes infinite loop. You understood, right?
Yes.
So to stop that, I given square bracket. You know this concept already about when it is acts like component did mount, right? Yeah, inside we discussed about the fetch method, right? Fetch, then again you will get the response. You just give anything.
Okay.
I'm giving some meaningful names. You will get the response and convert that into JSON. You know the syntax. And the next one, again then you're getting some result. That result I'm going to update to the set data. Okay, and now coming to your resource, go here, copy this resource. By default it's get method. By default get method. Post method we'll discuss in the next class. Already we are late. So now you just copy this result to the task completed.
Yes.
Just reload it. First it's showing you loading. See, it's showing you loading. Later you're getting the data. For example, I will remove this. Okay, and reload it again. No posts available. And if there is products or posts, so I'm calling it products, I'm calling it posts, I'm calling it users, I'm calling it anything, because you are retrieving the data and you're showing it. That's it. Whether that is users, whether that is products, whether that is posts, whether that is anything, you never consider it. You're calling it, you're getting the data, and you'll show that properties. That's it. Very, very simple, no? Yes. Now your application is dynamic. In the next class, we'll create the form and you will get the data from the form and you have to send that to the API, and again you will retrieve the data and you will show here. Any questions? Definitely. At this moment, maybe you don't have questions, but yeah, after practice, definitely you have to ask me questions. Yeah, take care guys. Bye-bye.